Thank you for joining us for the 21st annual Westmoreland, Vesper, and Quattrone Toys Safety Message. I want to start out by saying that I'm not trying to take the edge off of the holidays for anybody, but there are two big misconceptions before I tell you about the 13 types of unsafe toys that are out there in our stores. Number one, most people think that if they go to a good store and they see a good manufacturer with a good name, brand name, that it's a safe toy. That's not true. Number two misconception or myth is that the Consumer Product Safety Commission of our federal government tests toys. That's not true either. They don't test all toys. In fact, they only test a very, very small percentage of toys, and then again, only if there are complaints. So don't assume that the toys that are on the shelves have been in any way tested or regulated or inspected. The first type of toy that I want to warn you about, and this is 21 years of collecting bad toys behind me, is toys or the type of toy, any toy that looks like an amusement park or a circus act, any toy that looks like a trampoline. And the key here, and you'll hear this theme repeated, any toy that says adult supervision required. That SpongeBob Tiki Time Playland is a trap for little kids. You physically have to watch them at all times to prevent broken arms, broken necks, and severed spinal cords. Real look-alike weapons. Now you can't see it, but up in one of the corners there, a very dark-looking black pistol is at night in the hands of a teenager going to look like a real pistol to a police officer. And it could bring tragedy, as it did in Atlantic City just a few years ago. Explosives, rockets. You see that rocket? That rocket is powered by these. What are these? These are M80s. They're firecrackers. Guaranteed, these will blow most of the fingers off of the hands of your children. And rocketry, which is a great sport, it's more of an adult hobby, but rocketry, if you want your child to grow up to be a rocketeer, rocketry requires constant adult supervision. Mobiles. This is something that a lot of parents and grandparents have told me over the years they had no idea was dangerous. These mobiles are dangerous because a young child is going, or an infant is going to start eventually to get up on their hands and knees and try to stand and try to touch and grab what's spinning around or hanging down in the mobile. A young child will strangle themselves in that mobile. And the warning on the mobile, if you can read it, because on this particular package, it's a pink warning on a white background, so it's very difficult to read. But the warning on that mobile is that when used, after the child starts to stand or try to stand, you're supposed to remove it from the crib. I'd recommend any of you that have mobiles, just move them to another part of the nursery, get them away from, off of, out of, and far away from any crib. Now, tip over, ride on toys. There are motorcycles being sold as toys for children, miniaturized motorcycles. This particular Kawasaki ATV will, when you lean back on it and hold onto the handles, a young child leaning back on it because the battery is in the back seat, will tip back over and completely onto a young child. That will cause broken backs, and severed spinal cords. Flammable toys. Now, let me show you, and also chairs, bedding, and clothing that will smother children. You see that pillow? That pillow, if I may show you, this pillow has a warning, and here's what the warning says. To prevent suffocation, do not put any pillow in a crib or near an area where an infant may sleep. Pillows are a decorator item only and are not intended for infant use. If not intended for the infant's use, like to sleep on, it's a pillow, why would you sell it in the toy department? It's going to suffocate a child. Tents are being sold. Blankets are being sold, made in China. They're flammable, as well as being suffocation hazards. You have bedding for babies. This is sold in a toy department. It says, to avoid danger of suffocation, keep away from babies and children. Do not use in cribs, beds, carriages, or playpens, despite the fact there's a baby laying on top of it in the crib. It's a suffocation hazard. Toys that shoot. Now, a toy that shoots, whether it's darts or Nerf balls, is going to cause serious injury to one's eyes. Notice that the Spider-Man and Venom character there, the dart team, are wearing goggles. Those goggles they're wearing are not safety goggles. But yet those darts are going to be launched at point-blank range, and they will do terrible damage to children's eyes. Anything that shoots out a projectile, even a Nerf ball, could blind a young girl, as what happened a few years ago at an 8-year-old's birthday party, when a Nerf ball was shot at close range into her eye, and that young girl is blind in one eye today. Small parts. Any toy that has marbles, small parts that will come off and get into a toddler's mouth, those small part toys need to be avoided like the plague. And if you see toys, and we'll talk about this in just a moment, toys that it's called a deteriorated parts. That means they're made so cheaply they come apart. Toys that start to come apart have to be removed from any infant or toddler's reach. Toys with any type of a cord. Now, look at I positioned the pillow in the wrong spot. This telephone has a cord. The cord is longer than 7 inches. Any of the toys, which are now punishing me, any of these toys that have cords, strings, chains that are longer than 7 inches are strangulation hazards. Pseudo boxing gloves. Now, a pseudo boxing glove, again, if you're going to give someone gloves to fight with, not these, give them real gloves and let them fight with a trainer. Hitting and launching projectiles like airships, yo-yos that are thrown out at somebody's face and eyes, with warnings, by the way, adult supervision required. And now you have the dollar bargain toys. These toys, and it will say in the warning, be careful, small parts may be created. That means, again, it will deteriorate. The last and final and worst toy is the paintball. The paintball gun. This paintball gun is a dangerous weapon. It launches small marbles, marble-shaped projectiles with a CO2-powered canister. It is very, very dangerous. The warning is adult supervision required at all times. Don't let any child 8 years or younger within the 15 feet shooting area. you may as well take your child to a sporting goods store and buy a real paintball gun and let them play war games. It would be, in some cases, very funny to have some of these toys looked at and criticized. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for toys that say adult supervision required. Have a very, very safe shopping season, and I do, on behalf of my firm, want to wish you all a very, very safe and a happy new year. Thank you very much for letting me share information with you.